Hi folks, with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the issue of activist students in the United States, as college students being deported, having their visas cancelled, or self-deporting in a blind panic because they're worried they're going to get arrested. Now, what are the issues around this? I mean, some of this, or most of it, I guess, has really come up from the Palestinian supposed protests, which really just rent a mob, hysterics. But some of the ringleaders of these Palestinian protests in the United States, college protests, have been arrested and have had their visas cancelled and so on. And they're now starting to fan out. The authorities are starting to fan out a bit and go after people who are regular and committed, active activists, if you will, and to invite them to leave or to be arrested and deported, or have their visas cancelled and so on. Now, I don't see any problem with this. If you're an international student coming to the United States or any Western country for that matter, then you need to do your studies. You're here in the West to pursue your studies, and then that's fine. You're paying for it, and you've got a student visa to, what's wrong with that? I mean, do your studies and commit yourself to your studies. And why are you spending time on all sorts of activism that appears to be unrelated to anything to do with being a student? So anyway, let's just have a look at this. So there was one article that I saw on Indian media, and the Indian media was in sort of hyperdrive over this. It is outrageous. It is outrageous. And so no. Well, let's have a look. So they pick on one supposed student. Now, this is a woman who's pushing 40, and she came to the US as a student to study. I think it's a PhD, and at a prestigious university. But you'd be forgiven for thinking that she wasn't doing any study. Her online activity is being produced in evidence. Her online activity is that she spends a lot of time, being an activist for causes, Palestinian independence, and she does nothing but really pour hate on the United States and the foreign policies of the United States, the government policy of the United States, and so on. So she comes to the United States, seeks permission from and gets permission to come and study in the United States, and then does nothing but pour hate on the United States and the United States policies. And as she would see it, the outcome of those policies. Now, she was twice detained for being in a protest, as in part of an illegal protest, by the way. And you're blocking a street in one occasion and an illegal protest in another. She insisted, no, I wasn't part of that protest. I actually was just passing through. I was just walking past, and the police mistakenly arrested me. This type of stuff. So now, since then, pictures of her on a bullhorn, leading a protest have come out. So that falls flat. She was clearly now the how much time she was spending being a protester and going online is a bit hard to say, but she was certainly spending a lot of time on it. And you'd think that was her primary purpose for being in the United States. So really, what was she doing? Well, I mean, why would anybody at her age, again, pushing 40, I think she's like 40 in her next birthday, why would they, supposedly studying a PhD, why would they be so active or so prominent and spending so much time on strident activism? That really just doesn't make any sense. So was she, in fact, a professional international globalist activist being installed in that university? Was she really, in effect, a foreign agent working for the globalist cabal and just being moved around the world because it seems like she's a professional student. So she does nothing but go and do university courses around the world. So I would argue she's a professional activist, come agitator, and she's being sent around the world to do that agitating and to do that activism. And she's not really a student at all. Sure, she maybe she does do a bit of study. That I don't know. Now, the way the media tries to spin it is she is an innocent victim of the fascist Nazis. No, stop. If she had done no activism, then that would be a case. If her activism were just the occasional odd comment of, gee, I wish America would have a different foreign policy, but I haven't got time to go into this. I've got my studies to do. Who cares? But this is not. This is multiple posts per day with expressing, as I understand it, venomous hatred of the United States and United States government policy. Now, if you hate America so much, which this person clearly does, this woman clearly does, why would you come to America to study? Why not go to some country that some other? But no, she wants to come to America. Why? Why do you want to do that? If you hate America so much and you're going to spend all your fucking time being an activist on campus and with the bullhorns and the whole 9 yards, the online posts, the media, attending activist meetings and stirring up and agitating the crowds, why would you come to America to do that? Well, why not just come to study? Why falsely claim that you're coming as a student when really you're not? So now the authorities came to arrest her, this woman, and she wasn't there, and she panicked. Well, I don't know if panic's the right word. She knew the jig was up, and so she packed her bags and headed off to overseas, just to get out of the United States. So she can't get arrested. Her visa's been cancelled, and she's her courses, her position or place in the university has been cancelled. Now, this is painted or depicted as some terrible injustice on this poor downtrodden woman. Well, hold on a minute. If you're at that age and studying a PhD, she must come from a wealthy family, or somebody with money is bankrolling that. If she's been a professional student, really never made any money in her life, who's paying for all this university thing? She either comes from a very wealthy family who bankrolls it, or the globalist cabal is paying for everything because she's a professional stirrer and agitator. Now, I don't know how many students there are at university who are pushing 40. Not that many, I would think. I mean, there must be some, but can't be that many. So I consider it sort of strange that she'd still be pursuing studies at her age. So she's been at university for I think 19 years, non-stop, studying something. That's a long time to be a student. Again, would suggest that other people are paying all the bills. So the idea that she's somehow done by oppressed poor woman. Now, the Indians, which is their Indian talking point, it has been her dream since childhood. No, don't give me that crap. That's your fucking propaganda talking. So now, when you look at the other depictions or the other people that have been chased over activism, why would somebody from a wealthy Indian family, be a professional agitator for against America? Why would you do that? And you even asked to come to the country so you can do your student agitation. So I think there's a vast network of agitators over many issues. I mean, they're all anti-American, but it could be any issue at all. It could be Palestine or something else. Mass migration and so on. They're around all the universities, and they're not there to study. That's just a front. And the quicker those people are deported and their student visas cancelled, the better. In my view, any student that engages in activism, I mean, a certain activism that they could be activists over the potholes in the road, or they could be activists over that the electricity is going out, or so. I know activists over common good issues, but if it's the leftist social justice warrior Marxist type activism, black lesbians everywhere are being oppressed, that type of stuff, then no, you're not there to do that. You're there to study, and that's it. Now, if you are an international student, then I think it's even more important you're there to just quietly go about your business and study, that you would come from another country to the United States and suddenly discover these very leftist globalist cabal create social division type issues. Why don't you do that in your own country? If you feel so strongly about it, stay in your own country and do it, or go to some other third world shithole. I mean, go and do it there. Why do you have to come to the West to do this activism? Again, it comes back to this vast network of agitators, stirrers, and activists that are all over the West. Not just in the United States, but here in Australia too, Britain, Canada, and I believe their visas, quite rightly, should be cancelled and they should be deported. They can sign a declaration, perhaps, that they will, cease their activism and commit solely to their studies. That's something I would consider. Why not? And but that they should exist as activists and stirrers and agitators on campus. No. That's not happening. Your student visa is cancelled forthwith, and I think that's needs to be the way it's handled. And it isn't hard to find students at demonstrations, geolocation data and all that sort of thing. It's not hard to find them. Now they'll counter that by just having quick burn phones, so that they dispense with their phones at the end of the protest. Those sorts of things. But every effort should be made to identify these people. Whether it be by social media post. In England and all over the world now, somebody makes a social media post saying, I don't agree with the government policy on black lesbians or something. You can have the police knocking on your door. So why can't that work the other way as well? If you hate on black or even question mass migration, the police can be there for a non-crime hate incident. Why can't the reverse be done? Well, if you hate the West, you hate white people, you want to call all white people Nazis, you want to do this, then we'll apply that same standard to you. And when that standard is applied to them, they cry poor and it's terrible. Oh no, you can't do that to us. Oh no. We're allowed to do these things to you, but you're not allowed to do it to us. No. Now this beast you've unleashed is going to come and devour you. See how you like it. You've been with Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for listening.